the first and only time I have ever found Kevin Hart funny. Hey guys, I apologize for the awkward angle. Still dropping some shit in this car. But yeah, this is one of 2 movies I have to go see tonight instead of Star Wars. This is the first one, and then I'll go see the second one, and just, good lord, I can't believe I'm watching this Star Wars tonight. But regardless, I'm here, trying to do a little catch up as much as I can, with one of the surprisingly still popular movies that are out right now, again, considering what comes out today. So this is Jumanji 2, the surprise sequel. This is really off-kilter, so it doesn't matter. The surprise sequel to the surprisingly good last Jumanji movie, which I remember thinking was okay. I wasn't really in love with it. I didn't hate it. There was a lot of stuff in the first one that made me laugh. Again, it was a long time since I've seen it. I don't think I watched it since I did the review. But really the big thing I think that bothered me was I think I got annoyed that Kevin Hart was being Kevin Hart while everyone else feels like they were playing a character. And that's like, that's the one thing I think this movie improves a lot in terms of character work. But it does fall short in other ways than the first movie did better. So, I guess, general thoughts first off, I actually like this movie. I had fun with this. I enjoyed it. I think if you enjoyed the first movie, you kind of know what you're getting yourself in for, you're going to like the second one. It's pretty good. The stuff it improves on really is in the character work. And there's a few new characters, and they're all really well done. They're all a lot of fun to watch. Last time, the surprise star was Jack Black. Doing like the ditzy blonde girl routine, which does come back to a certain extent. I'm not giving anything away; it's in the trailer. This game, so it's the new kind of like breakouts are Danny DeVito, who ends up becoming Dwayne Johnson in the game, and oh god, I'm totally blanking on his name. His name is Milo Walker in the movie. Andy Glover, I think it's Andy Glover. I'm gonna double check that because I don't want to be an asshole and totally forget who I know is like an acting legend. He's an acting legend and I can't remember his goddamn name. And I feel like an awful human being. No, I don't want to go to the app. IMDb, fuck off. Come on, where are you? No. I know, I'm sorry guys, I will find this. Why is he not in, like, the first few... That feels kind of insulting somehow. Yep, Danny Glover. Okay, I called it. Yay, I got it right. Woo! Alright. Danny Glover, who is Kevin Hart in the game world. Now, again, I don't think Dwayne Johnson gets nearly enough credit as an actor, because he does a just spot-on and hilarious Danny DeVito impression. And this is where I gotta give credit. Where credit is due. I have made my disdain towards Kevin Hart as an actor, although I'm not really a big fan of him as a person either. Kevin Hart, because I always feel like he does the same thing every movie he's in. This is a place where he's actually given a character to chew on. In this case, it's doing an impression of Danny Glover, and he is spot on. Like, and that was the case. Like, that's really what sold this movie. And honestly, the strongest characters in this movie are Danny DeVito's character and Danny Glover's characters. And there are kind of takes the focus of the movie, which, in my opinion, is to the movie's benefit. There's a police officer kind of patrolling around the car out here, and I don't know what they're doing. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, yeah, I lost train of thought. Yeah. Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart do such a good job playing those two actors that you do just genuinely associate the two together. You totally buy that there are these people in this game world, and they actually have kind of the most heartfelt arc through the movie. Like, I was honestly at points like, I would just love to see a movie with Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. I think they'd be really good together. They are really good together. Danny Glover himself is not in the movie very much, surprisingly. He's only in like only in the first act, then he kind of disappears. And then other shenanigans happen, but Kevin Hart does a great job bringing him to life, making him feel like a real person there. He's not just doing an impression. He is playing a character. The character does have an arc, because in the movie, Danny DeVito is like this old grandpa, just had hip surgery. He's staying with Spencer, who was The Rock in the first movie. He's had a long partnership with his old friend Miles Walker, who's played by Danny Glover. And they had a falling out somewhere down the line, and now they're older, and Danny Glover's character is trying to reconnect to Danny DeVito, who is having none of it, just does not want any part of it. And then, of course, Spencer, I guess, having some insecurities now that he's, like, adulting in New York, and he's not doing very well, in his own opinion, so he feels insecure, but he wants to be strong and masculine again, so that's why he rebuilds the Jumanji machine and goes in that way. And yeah, everyone else in the first movie realizes what's happening, and they go into to find him, and then it turns out everything's different this time around. All the adventures are different. And that's, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why I'm explaining the plot. It's all there in the trailer. I'm finding I'm much more cohesive when I'm at home and I've had time to think about this stuff, rather than when I just try to do it by myself in a car and it just goes all over the place on massive tangents. But yeah, but really what it boils down to is, like, well, the movie seems to focus on Spencer and, like, his journey, I guess, to like, I don't know, like, rediscover his place in the world, accept his own insecurities, accept when to ask for help. That seems to be the focus at first, but really the focus seems to be on Danny DeVito and Danny Glover's characters and why they kind of fell apart and how they kind of reconnect together. And it's surprisingly touching. Like, again, and this is the case where I have to give Kevin Hart credit where credit's deserved. He does make the heartfelt moments feel heartfelt. And Dwayne Johnson is just a naturally gifted individual in ways that's just not fair. And they both just sell this relationship, and you're, like, honestly, I was more emotionally invested in that than anything else in the movie, which I think was by design, because, again, even though the movie doesn't frame them as the main characters, they do kind of become the main characters. There is an additional character, and this is where it gets slightly into spoiler territory, so, you know, you've been warned. There is a new character that turns out Spencer's actually playing instead of Dwayne Johnson, who is played by Aquafina, who is a character named Ming, who is a cat burglar. And I honestly, Aquafina, I love Aquafina in movies. She's just so entertaining. And again, massive spoiler. There turns out there's this MacGuffin water, like, it has, like, all kinds of electricity stuff flowing through it, and if you go in the water and you touch another player, you do switch bodies with them. And there's a part where I guess they have the let's go back to original bodies so we can go to the climax feeling like the way the audience really wants this kind of a thing. And Dwayne Johnson gets swapped out by Aquafina, who does just again, spot-on Danny DeVito impression. And it's really funny. She even gets, like, the slouches and the hunches. There's such great care by both Dwayne Johnson and Aquafina to just nail Danny DeVito to a T, and it's amazing to watch. And I guess Kevin Hart was the only one that could do a Danny Glover impression, because no one else even tries. No one else even tries. Jack Black is back in this one. He's not as good as he was in the first one, mostly because he's in this movie, he's possessed by, oh god, what's his name? The guy who played Kevin Hart in the first, the guy who was inhabited by Kevin Hart's character in the first movie. So, Jack Black isn't playing, the blonde girl anymore, now he's playing the black guy. To his credit, they would have been very, very easy to, like, really hike up the stereotypes and make this kind of a really racist character, but he doesn't. It's restrained. There's a bit more restraint to it. It's a little more Jack Blacky than the last movie was, but he still makes it a character all his own. And Jack Black is another actor who I have not given enough credit in the past, and I'm willing to give credit now, because he is a good actor, and it shows, and he's clearly having a lot of fun with this. And I guess, Karen Gillan is still playing the same one she was in the last one, because I guess everyone was fine with that one, so I guess, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The adventure scenes are fun. The villain is still pretty one-dimensional, but it kind of just like, well, it's a video game, so that makes sense why that is. Like, okay, fine, whatever. It works. Like, it's fine. The parts that work, the part you care about, which is like the main characters, the main players, are still pretty strong, and their interactions are a lot of fun from beginning to end. It's like, okay, that's fine. That works. I do think a big thing that still kind of makes me put these two kind of on the same level is the fact that the pacing and the length in the first movie was tighter and it was more concise. This one does tend to lag, especially towards the third act, in my opinion, to the point where it's like, okay, we can kind of wrap this up. But that being said, I did think the jokes were funnier in this one. Although nothing in this one quite matched the pee joke in the first movie, which is just saying something how great that pee joke was. Yeah, this is going to be a short review because I don't have a lot to say about this other than I had a good time with it, and I'm glad I went to go see it, and I'm really hungry, so I just also kind of want to eat. And it's also nice to see the Hound get work as a villain in this one. He plays the main villain, whose name I forget. It's something evil. Jurgen the Brutal, that's what it is. But yeah, overall, I think this is a fun movie. It's well developed, it's well made, it's well acted. The heart of the movie is really strong, and again, it just makes you really wish that Danny DeVito and Danny Glover would do more movies together, or do a movie now about them kind of just rediscovering themselves. I think that'd be really, really fun. Like a bucket list, but with these two. That'd be fun. That'd probably been better than what we actually got with the bucket list, now that I think about it. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm gonna go briefly over trailers, just to pad this video out a little bit, and there are some Dune trailers here that I got that I haven't talked about before, that I want to talk about briefly. So the first trailer I got for this was Barban Star, which I guess is a thing. I've never heard of it. So this is a case from this. I'm probably just too young. Like, this movie's before my time. The show or whatever it's based on was just before my time, and I just have no knowledge of it. This is where nostalgia just goes way too far to the point where it's like, what even the hell is this? It's like rebooting like Kung Fu-y or something like that, and going, yeah, you remember this thing from that age? No, I do not. Then you got Star Wars trailer, which just made me wish I was watching Star Wars across the hall, but whatever. Then I got a trailer for Free Guy, which is definitely the more interesting concepts I've seen in one of these movies before. It's not really new, because they've gone over like the world is a video game thing. I just literally watched a movie about the world is a video game. But it's about how, like, an NPC in a video game, played by Ryan Reynolds, realizes that he can do more, and then kind of fights back against a player in what looks like a video game that's like half Fortnite, half Grand Theft Auto or something. I don't know. It looks fun. It can be entertaining. Honestly, the trailer looked better on a small screen than on a big screen. The big screen is like, okay, maybe not so much. Then we got Dr. Dolittle, which just feels like so beneath Robert Downey Jr. at this point. And I know that's... Alright, sorry, I got an email. It just feels... And I know it's like, say, like, any actor is beneath something, but... Come on. Like, it's trying to be like... It's like trying to be Pirates of the Caribbean, but with Dr. Dolittle, and it's like... no, the dude talks to animals. That's like his... That's it. That's all this franchise really has. I mean, I guess it can't be worse than Dr. Dolittle 2. But it doesn't look very good. Then we got No Time to Die, which is the new James Bond movie. And I've really liked the last few. I even like Spectre. I didn't love it, but I still liked Spectre. And I think it does get, like, an uneven amount of hate. I don't think it's really fair, the amount of shit that, fucking, Spectre gets. But I get it. I get why. So this one's kind of hopefully returned to form. I guess this one has like a new 00 in there that I think is supposed to take over the 007 title by the end of it. At least that's what I've heard, so I don't know, we'll find out. But that looks good. Either way, I'm looking forward to, oh fuck, I forget, Mr. Robot as the villain. That has me excited, because I really like that actor. Bohemian Rhapsody aside, Bohemian Rhapsody was not his fault. And then trailers I've gotten before, like Sonic, Scoob, Peter Rabbit 2. And then I've got a new trailer for Ghostbusters. Okay, this is something I can talk about for a little bit. So, we've gone on record before, me and Ron got on record before, and saying we hated, the new Ghostbusters movie, not because of any misogyny or anything like that, just because to us at the time, and to me included, it didn't really feel like a Ghostbusters movie. To be fair, I don't think any Ghostbusters movie has really felt like a Ghostbusters movie except the very first one. I'm one of the people that did not like Ghostbusters 2. I guess the closest would probably be the video game. And I didn't like the new Ghostbusters reboot because it didn't feel like Ghostbusters. It felt like a Paul Feig movie in Ghostbusters drag. Conceptually, structurally, the way it's written, it rhymes with the Ghostbusters movie, but the way the comedy played out and the way it actually, and in way that kind of and just the way everything looked and the way everything felt, just did not feel like the Ghostbusters, to the point where it's just kind of distracting. And that's just how I feel about it. I know a lot of people like it, and that's fine. I'm not gonna take it away from them, but it just didn't really do anything for me. To me, it also means I didn't also like Melissa McCarthy. I don't like Paul Feig as a director, so it just did not work for me. This one also does not feel like a Ghostbusters movie. To be quite honest, it could be perfectly fine. It could be perfectly fine. I mean, I'm kind of interested in the idea of like ghosts, but in the Midwest, sure. But it does feel like, okay, we're just doing like it, but with Ghostbusters. Is that like it with Stranger Things? Is that basically what it is? The same like, oh, we're doing it with their kids now, and it takes up a little too seriously, which is weird because it's a franchise that by its nature was never meant to be taken seriously. So. Yeah, that's a movie that exists. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe it would be good. I don't know. We can fucking hope for at least one good Ghostbusters movie before I die, right? So yeah, I think it's only all I had to say about this. So, Jumanji 2. I liked it. Now I gotta go watch Cats. So, oh lord. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Bye, guys.